Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And we're back with another match today on the gingerbread map of Orsha East. We do have ourselves, well, one familiar friend and, well, I guess two familiar divisions really back and forth. Rang, who's fighting it out?
Well, on left-hand side in blue, we have sehandur playing as Gruppe Harteneck with Vanguard income. And on the right-hand side, we have Zebesthomas24 playing as third Canadian with a Vanguard income as well.
Well, we do have ourselves some kangaroos and some wallabies over here, it looks like. This is one defense group or two. I'm a little bit disappointed. It looks like we have ourselves an airsats opening over here from sehandur.
That's a lot of airsats, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm getting a little bit fond of airsats recently.
Heresy.
If you use them combined with like Panzer Grenadiers and actual killer units, they're actually very good because they just soak up fire for you. But if you only just use airsats trooping, I find that you have a very hard time actually, trying to fight any infantry battle.
Rang, I find your comments to be heresy. Please report to the nearest commissar at once. I'm sorry. We have to put you down.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been nice casting with you, Con. I'll see you next week.
But of course,
I can't really see you next week because I'll be dead.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
With luck, you'll go to the Emperor's side, but who knows anymore. Now we are going to see the Canadians over here. I mean, geez, the defense groups that used to be something deridable. But now they can actually add at least a little bit of firepower over here, especially against the airsats troop, and going to be very much outmatched. But Harteneck versus the Canadians, who takes the early advantage on this?
That's a good question, actually. I think both divisions are pretty evenly matched up, as they're both pretty mechanized. So be it, you got Sherman spam and good old rifle spam of both Canadians, and the Harteneck, you got kind of a little bit of all sorts of medium tanks, and scary Hungarians. So I think it's a very even matchup.
It is a little strange to see Humbers again,
Yeah.
but then that 184 over there helps us out and not seeing those Humbers for very long. And
Yeah, those Humbers are always fantastic, just because of our, heavy machine gun, recon optics, nippy speed. They're very nice to have on the field. Just anything autocannon related, or auto machine gun related is always good, but not good when you get, killed by light anti-tank guns.
well, then we continue to have this Sherman just diving forwards. I'm really surprised that this 184 pulled back. Oh, no, I guess the whole pop gun, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Town fight in the center of the map is going the way of sehandur, so I might have to eat my words about those rinky-dink airsats trooping.
Yeah, but he's doing it correctly. Ersatz troop and leader Rain, and he has all the actual fire support killer units behind. They're just using them as recon.
So it's very much one of those things you just have meat shields just to walk point, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're pretty much doing reconnaissance by fire.
Yeah, I've heard stories that during the Winter War, the Russians used to clear minefields by linking arms and literally walking across them singing songs. So I can't help but feel that maybe sehandur has read his history and is going after that kind of same approach here. Regrettably, his pea grunts in the south, kind of hard to really push back tanks if you have nothing to push back the tanks with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good little armored thrust Zebes has there, especially on a hilltop, so it's a secure, southern middle approach for now. sehandur is bringing in a Hetzer and a T-34 to try and counter it, and also get old-fashioned mortar half-track up into the middle, which you can never go wrong with mortar half-track.
One thing he is a little lucky with is that there's really no flags in the area other than that kind of barracks, that factory right there for a good chunk in any direction.
Yeah, the southern side it's a little bit barren. It's very hard to capture the enemy opposing flags just because you have to go through all that forest, which is not ideal.
It's a very polite way of putting it. Zebesthomas has thrown a couple of engineer squads in the center here. Unfortunately for him, not really what you want to use against even Boita material. But the only thing he can do right now is successfully engage that Airsat's troop, and even then, he's not really even panicking him.
Oh. No, he's not, yeah. The kangaroos are honestly a bit rubbish in SD2. Well, there really should be 5 points, I think. 10 points is definitely very overcosted for, you know, what it is.
True. No, I'm sorry, just taking that look down to the south. That boy to T-34 gets a gun jammed. Unfortunately, the M8 Greyhound gets sniped from another 45mm over here. And somehow the Germans have just completely and totally ruptured the entire line. Excuse me. Yeah, well, Gruppe Harteneck has completely ruptured this entire line. What the heck just happened here?
Just really good, just infantry push. He had the fire support, while Zebes didn't really have much on the hill. He had a few of those kangaroos, yeah, but nothing to really deal with Luxes and T-34s. That's a fantastic mechanized push here, all in all. And by capping that hill, that's huge. You've got an overlook to the eastern approach, just put some anti-tank guns in there, and you can control a good chunk of the map.
I guess I'm kind of curious here, these P2 upgrades here, when they start engaging these defense groups and field engineers as they start coming in. Well, that T-34 will. Yeah, this is going to be a really difficult approach for that 3rd Canadian.
Yeah, especially now, he really probably wants to get some artillery to try to soften up the hill before moving anything up, because he is pretty much in a giant kill zone.
He is a little bit lucky in that there's a 6-pounder who's got a beautiful line onto that T-34.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Probably gonna see a pretty quick kill here. We are back down to a 14-10. Did you mention before both these guys have a Vanguard income?
Yeah, we've seen, it's the second match history where both players are playing Vanguard. Honestly, I'm not too surprised by that in terms of 1v1s, and it really is the best income type to take, because it gives you a very early initial, you know, economy boost. And that's very important in 1v1s, is the match usually decided in the first 10 to 20 minutes.
Does certainly seem that way. We do have 2 Hetzers Hetzen down to the south, just taking out that Sherman pretty darn easily. With that going down, I'm surprised we actually not seen more infantry being deployed. We have one mistakenly dropped off Reiterjäger near the western approaches here, which is more amusing than anything else, and a little bit sad, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, do the kangaroos seem like discount half-tracks to you?
I don't know, it's kind of weird, because, okay, 5 points should maybe be a little bit too cheap, but at 10 points I feel like it overcosted, because it's, like, the 50 cal is nice, but it's not as effective compared to SC-44. You don't really get that many more kills of it compared to just having a regular machine gun. Oh no, it's a great vehicle, all in all. I love it because, you know, it rhymes with my name, but
True.
You know, it's. I usually avoid taking them personally when I play 3rd Canadian. I just want cheap rifle spam.
You know, it makes complete sense too. We are going to see these 45mm just going to absolutely tear them a new one.
Yeah.
One guy by himself got 2 kills. There's a 2nd kill right there. And we're even seeing down below, these stormtroopers inside this town, well, they might be able to hit the broadside of a barn, but what they can't do is successfully push back the P2 prototypes. Neither can this Staghound either. I'm not entirely sure why he's being as aggressive as he is with this.
He might get first shot. I mean, it's 3-star veterancy. There we go. Veterancy really comes in supreme. Those Staghounds are real scary light tanks or armored cars. Like, very good in town fights such as this.
True. But one thing that Staghound is not going to penetrate are these 2 Tigers as they're trying to come in here.
Oh, yeah. I think he'd have a little bit of issues, yeah.
And, now we're going to see P2 get a couple rounds off in the first place. No kill. It's like he's going to go down here. Yep.
Yeah. Staghound playing it dangerous, living on the edge, but it is paying off for him.
Mosquito coming in. A 20mm cannon in the nose, doing desperate work, trying to take out that last piece of equipment there. Actually, there's also field engineers behind enemy lines, giving away another flag right back over here to sehandur. I am amused by these two Shermans who think they're going to be able to penetrate the armor on these Hetzers. I don't know if what he's doing is just saying, you know what, eventually they'll run out of ammunition and then I'll be happy. Actually, you know what he's doing? He's just saying, I'm buying time for these look at this kangaroo migration.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's southern push. This could actually work really well for Zebes. There's not much here from sehandur's flank. If he can just keep up the momentum, he can capture that barracks.
But I guess the question is, we are into phase B. We did see the early Tigers, so that means that that's one card completely gone here. But that, like you said, that eastern ridgeline in the center is just, that's not going to go into Canadian hands anytime soon. Not easily, anyway.
Yeah, once you get fully pushed off that hill, it's very, very hard to try to get a foothold back onto it. His best bet is probably try to come in from the southern flank, where he has that southern town under his control, but there's a stew, yeah, there's Tigers, there's T-34s, there's machine gun teams, there's a mortar half-track, there's a lot of very angry Germans who don't want him being king of the hill.
I guess even more so, I'm kind of fascinated to watch this Stu-42 actually get himself engaged into this town fight. We don't really tend to see them very often, so it's... I even have a bit of a soft spot for him.
Same, it's a cool little tank. We saw him a lot in SD-44, but now in SD-2, they've really fallen by the wayside.
Kind of rightfully so. They barely existed in the first place on the field, but regardless. Yep. Down to the south, we are going to see that this push has been rather successful, though not without cost, as this 45mm has been taking names and kicking ass. He dies, but not before turning that entire push into a just shredded hunk of metal. And unfortunately, these other kangaroos that are coming in are going to find themselves impaling themselves just rather lovely on the Hetzer's reticle here. In fact, two of them, I think, will still be able to use this in a second.
Yeah, one multi does go down, and...
Oh, from the SDK, I've said.
Yep. But his southern push has run really well from Zebes. He pretty much has both flanks under control. Sahan is bringing in some Hungarians to try and halt it, but right now Zebes is really top of the pops down south.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see the priest down here either.
Yeah, we got the priest DDs, definitely, a little bit away from a beach, so to speak, but
well, now that DD stands for dead as a doornail.
I think the multi's gonna suffer the same fate. There we go, Messerschmitt. Gets an easy kill.
Yeesh. Ooh, firefly. I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah, it's definitely a rather rare unit. You can only get it with 3rd Canadians now. But, it's a good old firefly. It can definitely kill any tank, or most tanks that it comes up against.
Well, the size gun that it has, it either can kill it, or it's compensating for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, regrettably, we are going to see one kangaroo try to hop his way around the southern end of this line. But edge guarding, he might get the kill, but he's going to die pretty damn quickly, as the Husarok's going to come right back in and kill him in return.
Yeah, defense group's trying to hold, but yeah, it just shows, a few Hungarian infantry is going to be enough to hold the line, because, as you know, those Hungarian cavalry troops are scary. Goddamn scary.
They are certainly pants, so to speak. Now this kangaroo, he's coming through this forest, and he barely sees some of these Husaroks. Surprised the Husaroks have not just come right back at him and said, okay, fine, that's the way you want to play.
You think a 50 cal would suppress him a little bit more, but apparently not.
Well, there's trees. There's boidies. And with that in mind, 15-9. Eastern Slope, there's been a half-hearted attempt to push back on, and we have one Sherman who is there. But there's a tiger 500 meters to his west, and it's just really just lucky that it hasn't decided to come kill him yet.
Yeah, it's also lucky for Sherman that infantry nearby don't have any AT weaponry.
Also true.
Yeah, yeah. I think if Deebs wants to get back on that hill, he's just gonna need a huge, massive rifleman and just try to overwhelm them with numbers. Because you can do that, 3rd Canadians. You got so much infantry. Like your rifleman card spam is crazy. It's like Trove in A, 24 on B, and then 36 per card in C phase unvetted. That's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, but the important thing there was unvetted.
Unvetted, but that's how you take all infantry.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's not really much point taking vetted infantry most of the time, which really does bug me.
But we do have a bit of an armored fist down to the south with 5 Canadian vehicles up against 2 T-34s and a Hetzer right now. And 4 Canadian vehicles against... The question is really, if anyone kill that Firefly, and if so, how quickly? That was fast.
Yeah, the Hetzers have a very good defensive position.
No, he is going to die, don't get me wrong. But the question is really, how long can these T-34s... It's so strange to me, just to be almost prophetic. Now, I'm surprised Oh no, the Firefly cannot see him yet.
That was a terrible push, but geez, those ambushing T-34s pay themselves off.
Yes, they did. They saved those Hetzers.
Yeah, killing those Fireflies is huge. Absolutely huge, so really good job there.
And really all that does right now is allows more and more Hungarians to pour onto the field. Yes, it's true that Zebesthomas holds these 2 flags to the south, but right now, I mean, the Germans hold everything else, so who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And D-105 coming into the center. I think he's going to try to drop some artillery onto those defense groups and field engineers. Now, I'm not saying this should happen, but part of me almost wants the field engineers to be put up in placements. Like the entrenchment stuff, to get green cover or something like that in the field. I'm not saying we really should do it, but it'd be kind of interesting to just kind of throw in some fluff there. Maybe Pioneers at the same time could do it their side. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Oh, you know what? You see where the soap pioneers are, Khan?
Which ones?
Down south.
Yes.
If you look just a tiny bit north of them, inside that forest, there's actually buildings.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. It's like a wood cutting camp. That's a really good place to put infantry, inside a forest in a building. That's so much cover.
Pablo's house.
Yeah.
I like seeing this Wasp here. I know the Wasp, we barely see it because it has 0 firepower after was it 5 rounds, 10 rounds, but it's 8 rounds. Excuse me. But overall, it's great to see these guys. As much durability as an Assault Pioneers, you might as well.
Yeah, it's the same as well. You don't see flamethrower vehicles used as often. The problem with flamethrower vehicles is they have really pathetic range, only 160 meters, which is pretty realistic.
Yes.
But there's not really many uses of taking them. They're good in like a slight forest engagement, and that's really it. Anywhere else, they just kind of die. And when there's vehicles, they also die.
Where's this Kubelwagen going? Is he dropping ammo down the south, perhaps? Probably not, but... one thing I never thought I'd see, we actually have a Jagdpanzer with 0 main cannon ammunition.
Oh, wow. That is...
highly irregular.
Wow. That's... Yeah, he spent a good little Jagdpanzer. Oh, a hatch ain't good.
By the same token, we're actually watching as a tank and anti-tank guns are successfully driving back infantry. Like, I feel that is a little bit strange to watch.
Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of Panzer III's being brought in, and another Panzer II prototype. Yes, Canadian push has just been completely halted.
But you do see up to the north, Zebesthomas is not willing to give up just yet. He has himself another 9 squads of infantry being brought on in. These are all defense groups and other rifles. Rifle spam is real with Assault Pioneers. Ain't gonna be pretty, though.
Yeah. The problem that I'm seeing at Zebes has over Sehandur's match is he just doesn't have enough fire support to back up his infantry. Sehandur has all the cheap T-34s, the light tanks, AT guns, etc. backing up all those pushes. Whereas Zebes doesn't really, he's just kind of throwing infantry in by himself, maybe with a single Sherman or some Rosps, nothing that is all that effective. And that is also the problem with the Canadian deck and also the 15th Scots, is that you don't have light tanks. You really have to make do with Shermans and Churchills, which are good tanks, they're really good tanks, but having just cheaper throwaway stuff to, you know, put in the infantry is, I find to be a better choice most of the time.
Well, it doesn't help that he only brought in his first true piece of artillery here at the 20-minute mark. He's got a 144 millimeter cannon unloading kind of in a very weird knee-jerk fire pattern.
No, you're very much correct in that. The Canadians and 15th Scots, they really do rely more on indirect heavy artillery power rather than, you know, like light tanks and infantry support guns. So you pretty much have to artillery spam the enemy lines, move up with riflemen, and keep them backed up by Sherman. That is the ABC plan for the Canadians.
ABC, always be Canadian. Down to the south, Tiger Fuhrer is actually going to engage with this 6-pounder from range. I'd be amused and a little bit sad the 6-pounder takes out the Tiger, but the Tiger says, I'm the king of this jungle. Yes, I'm aware of the fact that Tigers don't technically live in jungles. And that's kind of been par for the course, unfortunately. It's been really the tail of the tape throughout all of this. Yeah,
but Sehandur, like, look at that, he's got pretty much the entire hill under his control, the southern side under his control, and it's all just because of really good use of combined arms warfare, the infantry and light tanks backing him up, and the artillery as well. So, really hats off to Sehan, that's how you do it.
Meanwhile, we have Patton over here making a cavalry charge up here at the hillside to the north. Yes, you have 5 rifle squads. Yes, you will take out that Pack 40. But what will it have gained you? Not a whole lot, I would argue.
Probably not. Probably not.
And with that, though, we are going to see Sehandur takes down Zebesthomas24 in just under 22 minutes. The KD, kind of what you would expect out of that, I would say.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. Now, if we look at the kills, not much. Losses.
Yeah, Krumbine, oh man, 5 kills for him. Jagdpanzer, 2 real kills for him. Another Jagdpanzer, here's the champ, Burka. 2, 3,
that's
4,
that's
5,
a lot of dead
6.
tanks.
And solid ones, too.
Yeah, fireflies, DDs, everything you need.
For a growing tank. Now, remind me real quick, with the Priest DD, aren't there some standoff rounds you could be firing?
I think I have heat shells. I think I do have some heat shells, maybe, I don't know, but they're still not that great because it's very lightly armored, and because everything has the same range, even just a small pop gun can really stress you out and kill you.
True.
You got a big, you got the big bloody funnel on the back. You're kind of a big target.
Funnel. I think you believe that. I believe they called it a smokestack. But yeah, true. That's quite a bit of a target there.
Do you think if I was to set up a priest DD outside my house and it becomes Christmas, Santa would go down the smokestack and deliver presents?
Well, I don't know. I think he might see you as a house of God. That with being in the pulpit there and all that. Maybe Jesus will go down the smokestack, but that's a very theological discussion that we do not want to get into.
No.
But I think we're actually dropping a 3rd replay this week. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
So, folks, with that in mind, come back in a couple of days and check out our 3rd and continuing coverage of the Steel Division Season 2 League. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.